Hi, this is Vicki with craftingforfun.blogspot.com. Today I want to show you a quick and easy way to line your envelopes. I was looking at some of the blogs that I follow, and I saw on Mel Stamps, MELSTAMPZ.blogspot.com, I saw her, she had some instructions for how to quickly and easily line an envelope, and she made a really good point. A lot of us like the way that lined envelopes look, but it just seems like so much work. This is a standard A2 size envelope that I've lined with some polka dot paper. Let me show you how quickly and easily this can be done. I have another A2 size envelope here. It's just a standard A2 size envelope. And what I did was I cut some thin pattern paper to fit inside of the envelope. And the way I accomplished that was I just measured how wide my envelope was, and I cut off, I made my paper 1/8 of an inch shorter. So it really doesn't matter how wide your envelope is, just measure your envelope and make the width of your paper slightly less than the width of your envelope. Slip a piece in. Make sure that your paper is long enough so that it completely goes past the flap on your envelope. Turn your envelope over. Take a pair of regular paper snips. Trim around whatever flap you have, and it really doesn't matter which shape of flap you have. This will work well with several different shapes of flap, and I'll show you another example in a moment. So that's what it looks like now. The paper is just the same size as the envelope. Then I take a regular paper cutter out. I take my pattern paper piece out of my envelope. I put it in, and I just take off a little bit. And I actually measured it one time, but I'm kind of eyeballing this time, and I'm kind of going, approximately 1/4 of an inch. It's not an exact science, because what determines how much you cut off is how wide your glue tab is, the glue area on your envelope. That looks like a pretty good fit. I centered it in there, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my paper cutter. I'm going to take my adhesive gun. Oops. And apply some adhesive. Press it down. My glue for my envelope is still exposed. My envelope, the liner is in place. It's not going to get easily pulled out. Then I turn my envelope around. I go to my original score line, fold it down, and burnish it well. And that's all there was to simply and easily lining an envelope. Let me show you another example with a different shape of envelope. This envelope has more of a squared, with little rounded corners, but more of a square flap. So what I did again was I just measured how wide my envelope was. I cut a piece of pattern paper that is 1/8 of an inch less in width than my envelope, and made sure it was long enough so that it clearly extended beyond the flap. Again, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to trim right along my flap, using my flap as a guideline. Get rid of my scrap there. I'm going to take it out of my envelope. Bring my paper cutter back on my flat end. I'm going to look and see how wide my glue tab is. And this one is slightly wider, so I'm going to cut off a little bit more than the width of my glue tab. I'm going to take my paper cutter away. Okay, so now I'm going to just insert my paper that I've cut back inside of my envelope. Oops. Making sure to center it up well and line it up just below the area that has glue applied on it inside of my envelope. There we go. I'm going to fold that back. I'm going to run some adhesive. Glue that down. I'm going to turn it over. Go back to my original fold line on my envelope. Burnish it with a bone folder. And there we go. I have a second lined envelope. Quick and easy. Using this technique, you can line an envelope to match any of your card creations, and quickly and easily make a card go from really cute to simply spectacular. Thanks, Mel, for sharing your idea with me. If you need any more information, please feel free to email me, or you can check out my blog, craftingforfun.blogspot.com, for additional craft ideas. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.